The Agyapa royalties deal, NDC vows to punish individuals behind the $12 million expenditure. Let me come to you. This was already the PAC sat on this. Parliament has been discussing this. And you're a member of PAC.
And I ask questions, actually.
Yes, I know. I've noticed that as well. And what's the current position? I found it interesting and insightful when the question was asked, and then the response was $12 million, or was it not $12 million? He turned around and said, was it not $12 million? $12 million. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, the Auditor General indeed audits books of finances of public institutions, and having done their work, constitutionally, they present the report to Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
And Mr. Speaker then refers the report to the appropriate committee, in this case, the Public Accounts Committee. Mind you, we have standing committees and we have select committees. Standing committees are committees that are established at the beginning of the Parliament. So you know that clearly on these matters, this is the responsibility of this committee. So it is the work of Public Accounts Committee. And the public hearing is to afford people who have been, cited for some financial infraction the opportunity to come and explain themselves, clear themselves or otherwise. So anytime we are seated, you have Auditor General staff. In this case, hire the deputies are those who will be there. Now, so it gives you the opportunity. Now, once the work is done, then the report will then be submitted. Sometimes we vote because we have equal numbers as on the committee. It is one of the two committees where you have a member of the minority party chairing. And it is not for nothing because it deals with the graft, it deals with corruption. Now, we had the opportunity, in fact, the Mineral Income and Investment Fund, they were invited to appear before the committee to answer questions on some financial infractions. And then when they appeared, and in the questions, the issue of Agyapa came. If anybody underestimated the robbery, the thievery that President Nana-Addo and his gang of ministers have perpetrated on this country, I think that is a clear case. Mind you, there was a time Parliament debated this issue. The Minister for Finance was invited to answer questions on that. And his usual self, he came absolutely condescending. Now, when we were asking the questions, specifically, as to how much was spent so far, and he said $12 million. I've heard people who are attempting to deflate the matter. He gave explanation what the monies were spent for. He said that they spent the $12 million in acquiring office space, both in Ghana and in London, and also paid two so-called consultants. Then I asked the question to give us a list of the consultants and how much they paid each of them. I'm saying this because I listened to a radio interview, and I don't want to mention the journalist's name, is fair. And then they brought in the chairman on Mines and Energy Committee, Honorable Atacha. And we know what the strategy is. And asked Honorable Atacha whether his Committee for Mines and Energy, will not take up that responsibility. It's a strategy. A committee that is clothed with the authority to investigate such matter is already handling it. Why then would you outrageously suggesting to another committee to take the matter, to ask what questions? Because the questions you are demanding that the committee, the Mines and Energy Committee does, those questions have already been asked. And they are supposed to provide us with the evidence. And they say, oh, there wasn't any detailed information. That detailed information have been sought. We demanded that they give us the detailed information. So if you ask me, I can tell you this was what the monies was spent for. Office spaces and the payment to consultant. The information we are picking. And I will be able to.
For me, so
the money spent is way, way higher than the $12 million.
Really?
Yes. Now, what is shocking about it is that the president made a statement halting the process. The MIIF people are those who were to implement that vehicle. They have the capacity to do so. We asked the man, were you informed the reasons why the president took the decision to halt? He said no. Did the presidency communicate to you? No. The presidency instead communicated. In fact, he said we only heard the presidency communicated to the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General. I am not a lawyer. Now, they're right, we operate an executive president, but that authority to be exercised by the executive president must not be done arbitrarily. The people of this country demands to know, and they ought to be informed.
Okay.
The reason why you are halting the process, knowing very well that $12 million had been spent, and the information we are picking is that it's more than that. Kwelebu, there was a problem of 4 million Ghana cedis
The dialysis.
to fix a problem which led to the loss of several lives. National service persons have not been paid for 4 months or more. Teacher trainees and lessons, I'm coming, they haven't been paid. Now, if you have this money, and then you spend that money, and the president decides to hold the process without telling us the reasons why he's holding that process, don't you think it is worrying? But let me conclude on this. The Office of the Special Prosecutor investigated the matter. Let no one tell me that the Office of the Special Prosecutor doesn't have the capacity to do so. What the Office of the Special Prosecutor says or said was that there was a violation of public procurement law, a clear violation of Financial Management Act, and a clear violation of the Constitution of the Republic. The government is yet to challenge all the violations in these financial laws and regulations and the Constitution of this country. So anything that happened in this country through the violation of any laws of this country is illegal. So one can conclusively say that there was corruption.
Okay. You have a couple of minutes, 2 minutes to respond, please.
That is too unfair anyway. Because it's
We've run out of time.
So add him 1 minute.
No, we don't have time.
First and foremost, this Agyapa matter has gone back and forth
for a long time,
Let us admit that. Number two, I want my honorable to admit to us that this Agyapa deal has been passed in Parliament. Number three, I want to also make it clear that the Agyapa question about money spent was not captured in the Auditor General's report, but it was a public interest question that was raised by a member.
True.
Yes. So the CEO of MEF admitted, gave an answer, and promised to furnish.
He didn't promise. We demanded. We demanded. So it's a sharp difference between wanting to and then being demanded.
It will come at the same point. Agreed to furnish the house with all the details therein. But you see, I do not know much, but what I know is that even when you are going to Eurobonds to raise bonds, you prepare prospectus, you prepare other international documents. Those international documents you prepare has some certain international agreements and standards, and some payments must even be made prior to even you going to the bond market.
Yes, of course.
So we have Agyapa, an IPO, that we want to raise $500 million for the country, and per the tenets of the contract, international transactions, the lawyers and everything, you must pay between 2.5 to 5%
Why did the president intervene?
Hold on.
No, we need to wrap it up.
I'll come down. Of the intended amount you want to raise, you must come to Parliament with these documents. And you must pay some of these things ahead of time.
Fair enough. So you spend.
I am trying to establish where they want to impugn corruption.
Okay. So
when,
$12 million
when
have
it
been
was
spent.
passed, when it was passed in Parliament,
we walked out.
CSOs and other agencies raised some very critical questions. That was where the listening government asked that.
All right, we've run out of time. Sorry, gentlemen. No. So wrap it up. You have 10 seconds.
You hold on and investigate all these matters.
Okay, all right.
You see.
Did you investigate the matter?
I think that what is causing all this interest and what is causing our brothers from the other side now cataloging a whole opportunity cost that could have been used. Cataloging a whole opportunity cost that could have been used is the involvement of a certain individuals and names supposedly associated with them, which is data bank.
Okay. I didn't mention even data bank.
No, I'm saying I'm not also responding to you.
Fair enough.
That is the point. But you see, when you get into the details properly and so to say, I am seriously finding where the corruption is.
It's difficult defending MPP these days. I understand why.
You see, they want to raise a point get into the ears and minds of Ghanaians.
it's okay.
And
Fair
make
enough.
all
Difficult
this-
defending
this-
MPP
all
these
this-
days, so I
this
understand.
opportunity cost analysis.
Na-
Oh, you could
Nana
have done
Kwame,
this here.
Nana Kwame,
You could have
Nana
built a
Kwame.
hospital here.
Thank you
could have-
very much.
Meanwhile,
Thank you
you
very
spent monies in this country with the same amount
see,
of money and the
you
same
see,
opportunity cost hanging there.
If
So
you, are
this
sell-
has been-
if you take rotten meat to the market, you have to talk plenty to be able to
Judgment.
convince people
No,
to buy.
you
So that's what you are
had
doing.
the first meeting. You had to
With
talk-
Nana Kwame Asafo-Agyei, he is the parliamentary candidate with the MPP for Bosome Freho. He's also Deputy Director for External Affairs with the MPP, and also to the Honorable Ibrahim Mujala Mohammed. He wants to be comrade as well. He wants to be called comrade as well. He's the MP for Tabale Central with the NDC.